Hey, I'm Adam Thompson. I do a lot of work in the social sector, in particularly government, and often we start off a workshop by asking, who is your customer? And the standard answer we get is the community. That comes from a really good place, but I want to give you a different way that you can look at who your customer is when you're working in the social sector that can ultimately help you serve your community better. And if you're in the private sector, this stuff's going to help you as well. Let's get right into it. First, I'm going to draw up this basic model of how a work system can work. It goes like this. First, we're going to put up the customer, and what we're going to say is a customer puts demand on a work system, and the work system then produces products and services. And the products and services ultimately go to the customer, drawing in the demand. Work system produces the products and services. And then what we have is our basic work system. Now, these ideas come particularly from a book called We Don't Make Widgets by Ken Miller. If you're in the social sector, have a read of the book. It's really valuable. Customer puts demand on the work system to produce products and services. Where does that demand come from? Because customers have a need.
I feel the need.
I often use the example of the need is that I'm hungry, and then they're looking for a certain type of value. Your value at fast food is pace, consistency, and cheap. Your value at fine dining is the experience and the quality of the food. Either way that you're hungry, but you've got different value. The job of the work system is to create the value through the products and services it provides in order to satisfy the customer need. Here's the thing, if we're talking about who the customer is, the example that Ken Miller gives, which is a great one, is let's take the actual product or service, and the word that Ken Miller uses is the widget. Let's take the widget of a license plate. Who is the customer of a license plate? If we define the customer as the person or the group of people who get the thing being the product or the service or the widget, the customer of a license plate is going to be the driver of the car. But who else is a customer of a license plate? It's going to be the police, because the police are a frequent user of license plates whenever they're checking out a vehicle or anything along those sort of lines.
I can tell you the license plate numbers of all 6 cars outside.
So if we take the customer, and the customer is the person who uses or receives the product or the service, we start to get a different definition of customer. So where does this thing called the community fit in? Here's where it fits in with Ken Miller. This is the part I love. It fits in here, beneficiaries. The community is a beneficiary of serving the customers well. So the customers in the case of community services are anyone who will receive or be involved in the service. So who are the beneficiaries? I'm going to write some of them up here. We've got the community, we've got employees. In the case of a private organisation, we've got investors. And that's one of the key points that Ken Miller makes, that in any sort of public organisation, the investors in the organisation are actually the community. They become one and the same. Now, of course, if you're a ratepayer in local government, you aren't a voluntary investor, but you are an investor in the body. And in return for that, instead of getting money out in the form of profit, what you're looking for is to get community value. So the ultimate strategic question of any group of elected members and senior management of a council are, which are the groups that we want to create as customers that we can then invest in our work systems to provide them products and services such that it'll help the overall community? That becomes a basic strategic question.
I love it when a plan comes together.
So by actually being aware of what the need is and what the value is, we can now put in place some way that we can see whether that value is actually being created. In the private sector, you've got the classic one, which is money. If your strategy and your products are good, then the money will come in through the door. It's different in the social sector, but that doesn't mean that you can't measure it. That's for another video, some of the details on how we can measure those sorts of things. But the point is, by coming up with some way, we can get an idea as to whether the value is being provided by the products and services that we're providing. We can now stick it onto a graph, and we can look at that as a group to actually see whether we're providing the value. That allows us to get on with doing our job, because week to week and month to month, we can continually tweak and refine and create better value in order to serve those that we see as customers. And then no more than once a quarter, but no less than once a year, we can have a more general discussion about who should our customers be in order to create the overall community benefit that we're looking to create. That's all for now. If you'd like to have a chat about how this applies in your particular workplace, just get in touch. Also, if you'd like to receive the article that goes along with this, as well as the video straight to your inbox, just message me and I'll be able to sign you up to the list. See you next time.